Hi there, welcome back to the shed. And it's been a very long time since we last did a video out here. And it's one of those things, work's been very busy, but we've braved the winter cold to come on out and in answer to a question that was posted on my previous video about setting up signals to work on model railways. And this is about the points. So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about how the point work is controlled here on my little layout in the shed, Bolton Trinity Road. All the points out here on Bolton Trinity Road are controlled from a capacitor discharge unit that sits hidden away underneath the baseboards, and that provides the power and the oomph through a selection of different switches. We've got an awful lot of the Pico passing contact switches, but also we've used some veteran Hornby 00 switches, various ones here, to be able to change the points. The CDU, the capacitor discharge unit, allows us to group more than one point together, so that when we pull one lever we can change as many as, in this case, 4 points at the same time. And this is very good for route selection. The CDU also minimises any wear and tear on switches and the point motors by making sure that we don't get any risk of arcing, which can burn out contacts. Right, first up we're going to take a look here at this control panel. What we have here is this particular control panel is made up of a 6-bank of Hornby 00 switches. These are G3 switches, the green ones, and then we've got some D1 maroon switches. The green ones are on switches. That means that there's it will send a permanent current either to one polarity or another, and we've got this in conjunction to these push button switches that were originally for the Hornby 00 TPO sets or the EUBR electronic uncoupling rails, and they can allow us to send a pulse to either one pole or the other of the point motors. If we look underneath, we can see the rat's nest of wiring that is going from these switches. It looks complicated, but as long as you do the wires systematically, it is fairly easy, but it will use a heck of a lot of wire, so you can never have too much wire. Make sure that the wire is a reasonable gauge. You don't want it too thick, but you don't want it too thin either. Otherwise it increases the resistance and can cause problems, especially on larger layouts. What we've got as well is we've got a common return. This cuts down on the amount of wiring. It's not necessary to wire the return from each contact of the motors back separately, so we just daisy chain them all together, and this works quite nicely. This wiring underneath here is for the scissors crossing at the Bolton East junction above. We've got 4 points here that all switch together, and we've wired it so that when we push the push button switch, all 4 motors will fire in the correct direction at the same time. Okay, well here we are, we're looking from the surface. We've got this scissor crossing. We've got 4 points. Underneath we've got the PL10 motors mounted, and then we control this by, we can change the way that the direction that the points change by selecting on the G3 on switch which direction we want it to fire, and then one big burst from the CDU, and we can see that all 4 points have changed at the same time. And this just saves on route selection. You're not having to remember how many levers to change. It's just all in one go that the junction has changed. And we can also wire the PL13 switches underneath, which are just little micro switches, and they can change the frog polarity as the points change, and also select routes for us. So the electrics on Trinity Road are quite simple. So just change that back, one burst from that, and all 4 have changed. Also over here we've got hidden away in a nice little shed, just to disguise them, these are the Pico switches. Now these do much the same as the Hornby 00 D1 switches, the maroon ones, but they're a much more modern design and more readily available. I was lucky enough to get a good number of these second hand, so it's always worth looking around at swap meets through the bargain bins, because you never quite know what you're going to find. And these are pretty easy to use, wire up in a similar manner to the Hornby 00 switches, but a bit easier to solder to these because they're designed to be soldered to, so you know, use what you've got available. And there we are in a nutshell. That's looking at the the method that I've used to control point work here on Bolton Trinity Road. Just a quick aside, I've got here one of the point motors that we've used. There are other makes available that you can use, but I've always found that the standard Pico PL10 or PL10E, which is just the extended pin like we've got here, are very reliable, easy to use, and can be obtained quite cheaply. This example was bought second hand from a model railway exhibition from a trader there for as little as 50p. So when you can imagine, if you've got 60 or 70 points to control in a layout, it can represent a very good saving. You can see here that what we've done is that two of the contacts, it doesn't really matter which side as long as you know it's only one side. We've wired the two contacts together. This is the common return, and you can see there, because this is second hand, it's already been on somebody else's layout, so there's still remnants of wiring left, and that would go to the common return. And then on the other side we've got our two contacts for firing the solenoid, which changes the point one direction or another. If your point motor is a little bit stiff, you can always free it up by just a little tiny drop of light oil on the pin and work it in, and that just stops the motor from binding and helps the points change smoothly. Well, I hope that's been informative in some small way. A quick guide through how I wire up my points here on Bolton Trinity Road and my other layouts. If you want to see more videos on how I constructed my layouts, then have a browse back through the YouTube channel. There's also videos on here with some little how-to guides on how to do a few other things, and also some good old videos of just watching trains go by, because it's always nice just to kick back and relax. Don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, and if you think there's other people who might appreciate seeing it, don't forget to share it. And well, that's me saying goodbye for now on this very cold December morning, and hope to catch you again in the future. You take very good care of yourself. Bye for now.